Well, let's get started today. It is 12:05. We want to welcome you to our webinar. The topic of today's webinar is Demystifying EMDR, Expert Insights and Real-Time Demonstrations with Janet Sturtz, LCSW. We have a lot of great information for you today. Thank you, Janet, for being here.
I'm glad to be here. Awesome. And I love the topic of EMDR.
Yeah, you have a lot of experience. So I'm going to give Yes, it is. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to give an introduction of you, and then we'll get started with today's presentation. So Janet is a licensed clinical social worker and supervisor in Texas and in Florida. She's certified in eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is colloquially known as EMDR. It's an evidence-based structured psychotherapy designed to help people heal from trauma and distress. To obtain certification in EMDR, Janet completed 60 hours of coursework and 20 hours of supervision and case presentation. In her more than 30-year career, Janet has provided counseling in various settings, including inpatient treatment centers, training emergency mental health providers after natural disasters, and designing research interventions for victims of natural disasters in Central America. She's bilingual, by the way. She currently sees clients virtually through her work with the Latari Group. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you.
Awesome. So could you tell us, what is EMDR?
Well, it's a very structured form of psychotherapy in which the therapist leads the client through reprocessing memories that may be stuck in the part of the brain that causes a lot of distress. So it's really a very neat discovery that now that we know so much more about the brain through imaging and all, you understand better. But it is originally eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. So they discovered that by eyes following the therapist's fingers, the brain moved the memory out of the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that's the fight or flight, the part where you hear about adrenaline and where it's really not a real fun place to be. It's kind of scary. So if a memory gets stuck there, it's going to cause you a lot of distress. But through this movement, we can move it through the brain in a more normal processing way, and it goes to the part of the brain that processes it in a way that does not cause you so much distress. So they also learned that bilateral stimulation, and this is one of the ways to do that, the butterfly hug, we call it, the tactile bilateral, as well as the visual bilateral, use both sides of the brain. So when I do this virtually, I let the client decide which one they prefer, and they either follow with their eyes or they do the taps, alternating. The whole idea is to alternate, and this moves it through the brain. So client chooses a memory that is bothering them. Now, we don't get rid of the memory, and we don't bring up memories they don't have. So it's just memories that are bothering them. And
that sounds pretty amazing, because it sounds like it's not necessarily that the person has to recall every detail of some really traumatic situation. They're able to process it using this movement, or at least the eye movement.
Absolutely. Wow. We used to treat, for example, sexual abuse through talk therapy, and they were encouraged to tell all the details. That doesn't happen in EMDR, okay? Only what they want to say. And so we do the passes of either this or the tapping, and then I ask them after each pass, did you notice anything in the way of emotions or physical sensations? Okay, so they're not asked to tell details, just those are the two things we want to hear about. And that tells me if it's moving or not.
That's
So
really cool. That is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is really cool. When they say my head hurts, then I'm excited because that means the brain is really working. So anyway,
that's great.
They may have no feelings or sensations. That's okay too. There's no right or wrong answers here. That's important to know. So I asked, towards the beginning, how distressful this memory is on a scale of 1 to 10. So usually people come in with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Depends on the memory. But it's certainly legitimate, even if it's lower than that, like you told me your memory was, that we want to demonstrate. And if you'd like to get rid of it entirely, that's what we use this for. We hope to get it down to a 1 or a 0. And again, we don't ask you to please the therapist, but rather to just be honest with what's going on with you. It may take 1 session, it may take 10 for that memory. It all depends on the client. So I think I explained pretty much how it works. Now, before I do EMDR, I ask them to do the scales on depression, anxiety, the adverse childhood scale, and adverse childhood events, and dissociative scale. None of them preclude you from having EMDR. If you score high on those, you can still have EMDR. It's just helpful for the therapist to know about these.
Oh, okay.
People get nervous about the dissociative. You're not going to dissociate during EMDR if you've never dissociated before, but some people do that. We all do it to a little degree, like when we drove somewhere and then said, I don't remember getting here.
Yeah.
But some people do it on a bigger scale. That's okay. I just need to know so that I can ground you and bring you back. Another thing is I ask you to choose a safe person, a safe, nurturing person to have in mind as we do this, somebody who helps you be calm. It could be a real person in your life. It could be a biblical person. It could be a made-up character in a book, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then I ask you for your safe place. Where are you going to be when you do this EMDR? A lot of people choose a comfy recliner. I always have my blue glass of water with me wherever I am. And so they might describe that. They might have a thermos they use to drink out of. And then the other thing is a container to put your memories in, so that they don't bother you during the week. Like if we're in the middle of processing and our time runs out, we'll put that memory back in the container and leave it there until the next session.
That's fascinating. Yeah, that's all very helpful to understand, because I think people might worry what to do, if things are coming up for them. And
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
Again, no right or wrong, so
Yeah. So I'm assuming you had some pretty extensive training to be able to do this, Janet. Not just anybody can do this, I would imagine.
Right. I've always heard about it. And years ago when I heard about it, I thought it sounded crazy. But since then, it's become very well researched and is considered, a frontline treatment. Insurance companies believe it helps. And they've done a lot of studies to show that it really is helpful and resolves issues somewhat faster than just talk therapy. So I took like an introductory course that was 8 hours. Then I took a 20-hour, 2-day course where it was a live therapist online with real clients who had agreed to be filmed. And so I got a taste for what actually goes on. And then I took the big plunge and signed up for the certification course, which was 40 hours of very detailed work on the brain, explaining the brain and how this works and the techniques and all of that. And then after that, the class that did the 40 hours met for 10 hours over the course of 5 months and 2 hours in a shot. And we took turns presenting cases that we were actually doing EMDR with and got feedback from, of course, the professor, the teacher, and who's very experienced in EMDR.
Yeah.
And
so like a supervised experience, basically. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We wrote it up and presented it orally, and she critiqued it, and maybe, as in my case, suggested books that I read to further help me with the particulars of that case. And so then we could apply for certification.
That's really cool. That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome. It gives people an understanding.
Pretty rigorous, but I wanted to make sure that I was doing it right, you know?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that information can help anybody who's going to go to an EMDR therapist just to ask what kind of training they've had and then know like their level of expertise.
Yes.
Well, should we jump into it so that we make sure we have enough time?
Yeah, I
example.
think this is great. Liz is brave and came up with a couple scenarios that are real life things for her. And so she said these are not her most serious ones because we're just going to demonstrate here, but they are real life events for her. So the one that you chose, I believe, was on your birthday of all times. You came home from school and your mom's dog, Rusty, had killed the guinea pig Spot. How old were you then, Liz?
I think junior high.
Yeah. So here you come home, it's your birthday, and that was not good news, right?
No, it was really sad.
Yeah. And I imagine at that time, very distressful for you.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely cried. And
yeah. So, okay, I think you chose the tapping.
Yeah, I'll do tapping.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to hold that memory of coming home on your birthday, finding out Rusty had killed the guinea pig Spot, and keep that memory in the forefront. And we're going to tap alternating. I'll kind of get you started with the pace.
Okay. Do I close my eyes or do I keep them open? What do I do?
Most people do.
Close their eyes. Okay.
Yeah. It's up to you. There we go. Tap, tap, tap. Keep tapping.
So I'm just thinking about when I came home and the Rusty had killed Spot.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you if you noticed any emotions or also any sensations in your body. It's okay if you did or didn't.
I felt like a little bit of tingling maybe in my arms.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really notice any emotions. I actually had a hard time keeping the memory there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till you get used to it, that's typical. And also, it's not a pleasant memory that you want to hold on to. Mm-hmm. So, tingling in your arms, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's keep tapping with that memory in the forefront.
Okay.
And also the tingling idea. Okay. Tap, tap. Okay. Did you notice anything that time?
I had the memory that I think we put him in a shoebox because he was like about this big. And also that like 3 or 4 of my friends had come home with me because it was my birthday. So we were supposed to have like a birthday party sleepover.
Oh.
And so that made it like, I don't know, harder. I think it was supposed to be a fun time. And then it came home to the news that he was dead. So
that was definitely a damper on your birthday party.
And then I think I noticed like a little bit of sadness like in my chest.
Okay. Right. Now, if I were to ask you 1 to 10, with 10 being very distressful and 1 being hardly at all, where would you place the distress of this memory?
I think it's like a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I specifically chose something small because I didn't want to cry here on the live stream, you know? But
right, exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times when you do come in with a very difficult memory, you are going to cry. I'll share with y'all that I had my own EMDR before I started studying it. And it was something that really bothered me, but I thought, oh, that's not a trauma. And finally I said, yeah, it was. And so I went to EMDR. And she said, have a box of tissues there because you may start crying. And I said, oh, I don't ever gonna cry. And the next thing I know, I was bawling. So we therapists know that crying is good.
Yeah,
that's a release.
Yeah.
And that's a, good way to feel your grief and everything. And so you may want to have a box of tissues handy if you do the EMDR. It's not going to last forever, but you may cry.
Yeah.
And some people cry during the whole session. Some not at all, some just a little. It's different for different people. So, okay, so now we have the picture of the friends coming home. And so you've got this sadness in your chest. And so let's go with all that in our next set of tapping.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Tap, tap, tap. Okay, Liz, did you notice anything that time?
I noticed that I took a very deep breath and like a sigh, and then felt a little bit lighter. And then I kind of thought of, I think we buried him like under a tree in the backyard. And yeah.
Yeah. Was the burial kind of a good symbol, like to say goodbye?
Yeah. And I think I don't remember the details. I think my friends I think like we might have done it that afternoon, like a part of my birthday party, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we've buried a couple of dogs in the backyard before.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that. Ready?
Yeah.
Tap, 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 tap. Notice anything during that tapping?
I think overall I just feel lighter, and I noticed some like a funny sensation right here in my forehead. Some kind of weird sensation.
Yeah. Sounds like it's moving.
Mm-hmm. That was the only thing. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay, so I'm glad to hear you're feeling lighter. And that sensation to me tells me probably your brain is moving it as we do our tapping. Now, I think we have time for one more pass with the tapping. Okay, so let's do tap, 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 tap.
Still thinking about the burying the spot, or anything doesn't matter.
Yeah, and the last feelings you had of feeling lighter.
Okay.
And that sensation in your forehead. Okay. Notice anything? I feel like I'm rushing you, but we're...
Yeah, because we're under time.
Yeah.
It was just kind of funny. I felt a little bit like I was paying more attention to the tapping and could kind of feel my eyes like moving back and forth. And
yeah, I've had other people say that.
Yeah, didn't really feel the sadness anymore. I think maybe like the absence of the sadness, maybe.
Okay. And so would you say that is still a 2 out of 10, or did it change any?
Well, I'm trying not to please you, right? Not saying what you want to hear, you know, but But yeah, no, I don't feel the sadness anymore.
Yeah, that's what you said, that there's an absence of sadness. And you had commented a couple times you felt lighter.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I worked through it.
Maybe a 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that we wanted to be real. We wanted to demonstrate. Now that is a very brief demonstration.
Yeah.
But she actually was recording things that I would hope would be going on towards lessening the distress of this. So that you get the idea there in general, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be really helpful for people because they can see and imagine maybe a different scenario, whatever traumatic situation they've lived, and imagine doing that, right? Maybe hopefully it feels a little less scary to go in and do an EMDR with somebody. Yeah.
Right.
That's so cool, Janet.
Like I said, no right or wrong answers. Clients constantly surprise me with what they come up with. It's very individuals.
Yeah, I bet. I bet every session is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of time, I just wonder, is there one thing you would like people to remember today?
About EMDR?
Something you'd like them to walk away with?
Yeah. That God created a magnificent organ in the way of the brain. It's just astounding what the brain does and controls and can do. And also now has provided through men, women, inventing things and studying things, ways that we understand the brain better and ways that we can help to move things along in the brain in a normal processing so that they don't cause us as much trouble, as much distress. So I'm very thankful that EMDR was discovered and has become more fine-tuned. And I really enjoy using it as a tool with clients. And, you know, sometimes they're doing EMDR and they come in and say, I just want to talk today. And that's fine too. And then if they want to go back to EMDR, we will. And so it's a good tool to incorporate. Not the only tool, but an important one.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Janet. If anyone would like to contact Janet and reach out for EMDR, you can find her at letarehealth.com. I was trying to put your information in the chat, but for some reason it's not letting me. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's just letarehealth.com/Janet.
Yeah, excellent.
Now it takes you to my page. So it's like a bio, and then at the end of the bio, there's a form you can fill out that comes to me if you have questions and want more information.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again,
thanks
Janet.
For being brave, Liz, and doing a little EMDR there for the world to see.
Yeah, I know, right? Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Janet. We will talk to you later.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.